What is going on, you guys? Here we are at our Albuquerque. As you can see, here we are at Duke's, and we are ready to take on the challenge. So we're playing. We didn't get to do a little intro, so here's us repenting, whatever you want to call it, with our little intro. So let's swing into action. All right, let me show you the DracoPals deck that we are playing for our regional today. I am so excited to play this again. We did play it for locals once that I totally forgot to record for. It was good testing, and we made some refinements since that. But this, I think, is the best solid profile that we've got. So starting out for the DracoPals engine, we are playing 3 copies of Luster Pendulum Draco Slayer. When you think of Draco Slayer, you're playing Luster at 3 for sure. We follow it with 3 copies of Dynamite, because Dynamite's going to help us, especially now, any of our Draco Slayers, and when it's tributed, it gets us more advantage there. Play 2 copies of Majesty, or 3 copies of Majesty. This Majesty is really great. We need it to get into our field spells. As well, its Pendulum effect is just also really solid. And then we play 2 copies of Ignis Phoenix, the Draco Slayer. Its Pend ability is not all that worthwhile. It's not even worth playing, but playing it at 2, I think, is really good because you pop it with Luster, search out the last copy, and then its effect will trigger the special. So it gets you a lot of good advantage there. And then rounding out that Draco Slayer line, we play 1 copy of Unicorn Kirin. Kirin, since we play Ryu in our extra deck, we're able to get it out. But most of the times we aren't going to be able to Pendulum summon it out unless we've got the Ignis Phoenix in our pen skill. So that's our Draco Slayer line. And our Performapal line, we start with the best normal summon of the deck, and 3 copies of Performapal Skulkerback Joker. Gets us into everything that we need for the Performapal line and the Odd Eyes line. We also play 2 copies of Pendulum Sorcerer, because this just gets us advantage out of advantage. We play 1 Monkey Board and 1 Guitartle. We were initially playing 2 Guitartle and Lizard Draw for the draw power, but sure, it gave us resources, but in the end it didn't help us establishing our board when we would brick on those cards early on. So decided to play just the Guitartle, just because it is searchable and we're only ever needing the 1. And then we follow it with 1 Performapal Odd Eyes Seer and 1 Performapal Odd Eyes Dissolver, getting into our Odd Eyes line with the 1 Arc and 3 Rebellion. Since we're able to search Luster, Odd Eyes Arc, and then 2 other slots that we play, being able to get into a Vortex like on Summon 3 is just really critical, because it insulates us from Nibiru, which is really the only hand trap that we really care to protect ourselves from. And since we're able to cycle in either the Arc or the Seer, which are our 2s that we want to recycle, most of the times you're wanting to recycle the Seer so you can get the follow-up to add Revolution back and just keep grinding off of that. But the last copies it can search is the Dark Worms, which we play 2 of with 1 Supreme King Gate 0. We did think about playing the Supreme King Gate Magician as another Pendulum summon or as a free special summon, but we don't have the extra space to play the Odd Eyes Rebellion or any of its other counterparts that it can send. So we just decided to not play it, because it is good, don't get me wrong, but it just takes up a lot of extra deck space, and this extra deck's already tight as it is. And then rounding it out, we play the 1 copy of Astrograph Sorcerer, which when I was playing this as a 45 card, Astrograph did come out a lot, and so we're hoping that maybe Astrograph is still worth playing, as it does get us pretty much anything as long as it's destroyed, which we do destroy our scales a lot. So we'll see how that plays in for today. And then on to the last portion of this deck, which is probably the reason why I decided that I wanted to play it, is the Performage line. So we're playing 3 copies of Performage Plushfire, 1 Hat Tricker, 1 Damage Juggler, and 1 Trick Clown. So I have been contemplating a lot dropping the Hat Tricker and playing the other Pendulum scale, the Mirror, for the Hat Tricker, since a lot of the times, if we do pop it with Plushfire, we want the Pendulum coming out, so that way we can go into Beyond the Pendulum without sacrificing the normal summon. But a lot of the times we're able to play Dynamite in the scale special, and then use Trick Clown and the Dynamite to go off from there, or sorry, the Luster, because Dynamite's in the scale. and we're able to play off of that, you know, beyond, and then Trick Clown. I'm sure that's a lot of life points that we're paying, but it does give us some pretty good resource advantage. And then Damage Juggler just letting us search out the Hat Tricker. This is honestly a good. I did try playing it at 3, and at 3 I worked with it a lot. There wasn't a lot of effect damage that we were getting, or a lot of battle damage that we could change to 0. So we never ended up getting to discard it for follow-up, but discarding it off of the Majesty Pegasus when we search out our field spell is also really great, and that happened a couple times when I last played the deck, so we're hoping we're also seeing that tonight. But this is also like a 6 flex spot, so in my siding, most of the times this is probably going to come out because we won't see it as often and it's not as searchable. So this will probably come out for the hand traps that we do play, or the board breakers, depending on what we need in that moment. And then last but not least, we are playing 1 Dragonic Pendulum and 1 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. So we could play Necro Valley or Zombie World, one of those over the Dragonic Pendulum. But I like playing the Dragonic Pendulum and being able to break my opponent's board going second. We're able to just activate this, and when we go Ignis Phoenix a spin, this will destroy another card. So we're able to just really dissect the board a lot easier that way. And then Secret Village, obviously, for going first, since we do split up a lot of spellcasters, we're able to just really solidify our boards with that. And then our last slots, 2 Dragon Shrine and 1 Foolish. Foolish can really send us the Trick Clown or the Damage Juggler, along with the Dark Worms. So that's why we're only playing the 2 Dragon Shrine, because we don't really want to see 3 Dragon Shrine. Seeing the 2 is subtle and ample enough, because we can also send Revolution for Seer. We can send the Dark who's going first. As long as we control nothing, Dark Worm will be live. And if not, it can always just be a good discard. Moving to our extra deck, we play 1 Vortex and 1 Dinosaur Power, the Mighty Draco Slayer. So again, Vortex is going to be what's really going to carry us, being the Omni Negate of the deck, being able to help us solidify against Nibiru and other board breakers like Evenly, which is mainly Evenly. If we're able to set up Secret Village, they can't Dark Ruler or Lightning Storm, Brageki, Forbidden Droplet, none of that will be live. Dinosaur is just resource gaining, resource incursion. We do play 2 copies of Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer for board breaking. And then our X-Seed line is where things get really interesting. We're playing 1 member F-Zero Utopic Future, 1 Utopic Draco Future, 1 Magister Paladin, 1 Baguska, 1 Magister Spectre Draco Ryu, and then 1 Hope Harbinger. So Hope Harbinger is if we can't get into our Secret Village line, we just go on Hope Harbinger and still kind of end the board on the same board breaking, or the board. Ryu is what gets us into Kieran, since we do Tribute Summon or Tribute Fuse for the Dinosaur. Baguska is just Baguska Pass, really. Magister Paladin is crazy insane, being able to add us the Astrograph, or any other pendulum that we do need. And then Utopic Draco Future, we usually use Magister and the Magister Draco Ryu to get into. And it's a crazy card too for this deck. Since we do X-Seeds, we don't want to leave those on board, so we just typically go into Utopic Draco Future. And then our link line is pretty small. We are playing 1 IP, 1 Beyond, 1 SP, 1 X-Seed, and then the 1 access code. So if you didn't want to play the Utopic Draco line because you think it's bricky, you can definitely up Beyond a 2 and then add a Selene. We were initially playing a Selene in here too, for the performance stuff, being able to recur that from the grave, or any of the other spellcasters that might get dumped into the grave. We'll see if I'll ever need it today. But in my testing, X-Seed has been what's really carrying us, because typically your end board will look like X-Seed, the IP, the Utopic Draco Future, Odd Eyes, and then Secret Village of the Spellcasters. So you're ending your board with these, which is pretty insane. You still have Pendulum Scale set, and you typically have your Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer in the graveyard. So you revive it off of X-Seed, pop your scales, you search for more follow-up, and then your opponent has to deal with 2 spellcasters that they have to get around. And since you have Utopic Draco Future, if they go into like try a monster effect, like a Kashtira, a Snake Eye, whatever, you can just always steal it and then link it off with IP into SP. And SP is just another form of interruption to get rid of cards, so that way you're insulating your Xseed a lot, so that way it can stay on board along with the Pendulum Sorcerer. So moving to our side deck, so as you can see, this doesn't really play any hand traps in the main, it is just a lot of gas. So we chose our side deck according to what we think will be seen based off of the format. We are playing 3 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being with 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. So since pretty much every deck searches, I think Droll has a good part to play in the format, being able to stop my opponent from further searching. And Nibiru is just Nibiru, like throwing them a Nibiru is going to really hurt a lot of decks, especially if they can't play past it. So there's that for you. Then we do play 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone for the back row stuff. We do play 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More for going second, along with 3 copies of Evenly Matched for going second. So Evenly was definitely a hot debate. Droplet doesn't really work in a Pendulum deck since you have to, I mean, you can send Pendulums from hand, right? You can't send the ones that are on the board when you're trying to, break through a board. So I think Evenly, you do sacrifice your battle phase, which does hurt, but you're able to just break their board with Evenly, set up your board, pass, and then they have to try and break yours. Dark Ruler, sure, you don't deal battle damage, but you're able to, again, break their board and then establish your board at the same time. So that is it for our deck profile for Draco Slayer. Honestly, again, we're super excited to play it and to see how it does today's regional. And I think we're back on our Pendulum hype, so let's roll.
All right, so we're borrowing their back room here, but round 1, I don't even know what we were playing against. Like, I opened first, we were able to set up our board. Not ideal board, but we had Vortex, Magister, Xseed, and Astrograph in hand, Odd Eyes Resolution. There's something else on my board. Oh, IP. With Secret Village and Spellcaster's Lives, so we were able to just control the board with IP, Vortex. He activated Saronir, banishing him beyond, which was like, yep, that's good. I just tried to go battle, we went IP into SP, banished the Saronir, and we went game 2. He opened and he passed. We established and just swung for game. So yeah, I have no idea what we were playing against, but we looked like a big pile deck, if anything. So if I took a guess, seeing the Bestial, it might have been Whitewoods, might have also been Dragon Link, I don't know. It's up in the air, but we got a round 1 win here at Regional, so whoo! DracoPals coming in. Let's go. Honestly, I'm excited to see how this deck goes. There's 7 rounds today. We have 6 more to go, so we'll see what happens. Here is the regionals. So you can see not as big a house as it was last time, but still a good amount of people. So the one thing that does suck about a smaller regional being 71, there's a chance of team kills. So round 2, we play purely against one of the guys that's local here in Albuquerque. And game 1, we tried to establish our board, but man, we couldn't. He had Ash, Valor, which we were fine playing through, but it was the 3rd one of Nibiru that we couldn't play through. We didn't have the Odd Eyes to get into Vortex, so we just, So we ended up losing there. Game 2, we were able to establish kind of our full, not even kind of, because we couldn't get Kirin or F-Zero on the board. But didn't matter, he had Lava Golem anyways. We did have the Secret Village live, but he Lava Golem our Spellcaster away, and we didn't have a window of opportunity to go Xseed to special back a Spellcaster, so that blows. So it was a grindy game. It went down to time. Had we had the chance to go into battle phase, we could have taken a draw, but because then a time was called, we take the L since he had higher life points. But what can you do? What can you do? So far, not too bad with the deck. Honestly, it's a grindy deck. You just need to know how to play it, and we're playing it to the best that we can. So 1-1, we still got 5 rounds left, so we'll see. We'll see where we go. So the matchup I thought I was prepared for, Senpai.
Round 3. Game 1, he dropped Shifter, and we just go game 2. My hand was just straight gas. Like, there was no way. If I think about it, I should have just passed turn and just let him play. But I feared that he had OTK in hand, so I was just like, you know, let's just pass. Game 2, he does the same shenanigan. He shifters, but this time we just pass turn to him, and he sets and passes, and we just break his board apart, and we swing in for game. Game 3, shifter again. It's like, man, it's glued to his hand. No, he didn't shifter. This time he went first. He set up spheres passed. He had a whole bunch of hand traps though, so we had to play through all that. We did disassemble his board, but he still had cards in hand. If we had the ability to rip cards out of his hand, we probably would have been a little bit better off, but c'est la vie. He ends up taking it, and we just take the L. So we're 1-2 right now. Yeah, it's not looking very good, but we're still piloting the deck to the best that it can. I definitely think in that round 3 should have just passed and rather than feared. If he had the OTK, just see if he had it. Because consistency is down for that deck, so I mean there's a chance that he didn't. So we'll see where the next few rounds go, but we're gonna actually head over to Target and get us some lunch because we're hungry. So here we are at our Target. Gonna look for lunch roll. Go with this guy. We're healthy. But so they got some pretty good side events from the event. You know, being 1-2 right now with 4 rounds left. We might just drop to do one of the side events. I got a Master Duel one, which sounds pretty good. We would still stick on theme and play Pen. But we could also play Rescue Ace if we really feel like we want to. We still have Math Mech, and I think I could do some pretty good stuff in Math Mech, but I don't know. We can think about it. We'll think about it. But we're gonna go check out and have a round 4, round where we drop. So we play against Ritual Beast, and boy, we got Protost. That was fun. So game 1, we didn't have the hottest hand. But we were able to establish a board, and we were able to just keep control of that. Game 2 is the same thing. Didn't have the hottest of hands, but we were able to keep control for a bit before we were OTK'd. And then game 3, hello Kyle. Yeah, we got Protoss, so that happened. And we also bricked on all the Perform Age stuff because we decided to keep that in. I figured he was going to call Dark since our link line was Dark and Light. So if he hits that, then you know we're left to all the other extra deck mechanics that we have. So, but yeah, we were called out on Dark, and we couldn't get into Beyond, and Beyond was our key thing that we needed. So we ended up taking an L there, and we were dropping, and we're going to join in the Master Duel event because we can cook. Math Mech, we got Pen Magician at full power. We've got Marin's Husk, Math Mech again. We also have a couple other choices, so like Rescue Ace. So we'll see what happens. Well. So the regional has ended, top 8 have been announced, and your boy didn't make it because we dropped after round 4. So we did the Master Duel event. It was only 4 of us. Game 1, we decided to go in with Pen Magician against Dragon Maid, and my opponent went first. They set up their board, and we just cracked the living daylights out of it. It was insane. Game 2, or round 2, we go against Labyrinth, and I, being me, wanted to play Math Mech because I haven't played Math Mech in so long. We played against Lab, probably one of my worst matchups. And what does Math Mech do? We brick on freaking 5 hand traps. Oh, it was so terrible. We had Ghost Bell, Ash, Valor, and Maxi. With Sigma, so I guess only 4 hand traps of the 5 starting hand, and there was nothing. Sure, we could have gone Heat Soul Pass, but I mean, there's no value net gained off of Heat Soul Pass other than trying to draw into Engine. But he had all the gas. He had Lovely. He had Lady. He had Ariane, Shane Dragolier. He had it all. So freaking annoying. I hate that deck so much. So we ended up losing, and we didn't get the map. I'm disappointed. Should have just played Pen Magician, set up full combo, full board, and just watched him suffer. But I got greedy. Tis what it is.
So that's it for this ABQ regional. You know, we were hoping to do better with DracoPals, but you know, we flunk where we flunk. We'll just take it back to the board to see where we can put some non-engine and just build off of there. But that's it, everyone. Catch you in the next one.